In Ubuntu 18.04, the desktop environment that gets installed by default is called the GNOME shell. GNOME is the default, but you can install other desktop environment on Ubuntu. When we first log in into the new user, what's new in Ubuntu screen? As you can see on the desktop, I will click the green next button to go through this process and get to the desktop. Up at very top of the screen, there is a bar with the activity button, the clock and calendar, and some system status icons. These show the network status, the audio volume, the battery charge if you are on a laptop, and if you click this area, a status menu opens up where you can control these elements, lock the screen and power off or restart the system. This top bar also becomes the application menu. When you open up an app, along the side there is a launcher where you can put shortcut to programs you use frequently. This can be hidden, as we will see later, and taking up the majority of the screen is the desktop, as you might be familiar with from Windows or Mac operating system. I will click on activities, and that brings up an area where I can switch between windows that are open and where I can type to search for programs. As you can see on the screen, I can click this little grid of dot here, which brings up a display of the software installed on the system. Along the right side of the screen, there is a list of workspaces, virtual desktops that I can move app windows to, and I can switch between them by pressing Ctrl plus Alt plus up and Ctrl plus Alt plus down. I will click on the activity button again and click here in the search bar, and I will type music. I can see that the system is showing me a music player. We'll take a look at that later, and files and folders that match that word. In this case, my music folder inside my home folder, I also get results that match from the Ubuntu software store, the app that lets you browse for new software to install on your system. There is a software synthesizers and an application to create sheet music. Those sound interesting, but I will cancel this for now by pressing escape, going back to the list of apps which I got to by clicking the dots in the lower left. I can see a variety of software that already installed here. Right clicking on an application gives me a menu where I choose to open a new window of the app and add it to my favorite on the launcher. As you can see on the screen, or show some details about the software. Let's add the app to my favorites on the left side. Once I have started using some apps, they will show up in the frequent section here, and all contain the list of all of the GUI apps for this environment. To see them all, I can scroll up and down with the mouse, or I can click on this button here. I can get out of this view with escape, and I can call it back up again by pressing the start or command key on my keyboard. Or just by clicking the activities button again. I will open up a few apps here just to have something open. Notice that how when I open up an app, the top bar changes to the app menu, where I can click the app name and see the menu for that application. I can switch between apps that are open using Alt plus Tab like on Windows, moving left and right to open apps, or Alt plus Shift plus Tab to move right to left. And if there's an app with more than one window open, I can switch between those in the switcher or move between them with Alt plus, which on the US English keyboard is up in the upper left above tab and to the left of number 1. In the app switcher, Still holding the Alt key, I can press Q to quit the selected application. I can maximize an application window by dragging it up to the top of the screen, releasing it when I see the color highlight. Clicking and dragging back down from the top returns the window to the previous size. I can do the same thing with the sides of the screen to snap an application to the left or right half of the desktop. This is useful for putting two apps side by side. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with working in GNOME. As you use it, things will feel more natural.